Welcome back to Force Education. This is Dad. Today we're going to be talking about ONTX once more. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow, subscribe, and leave notifications on. I covered this video into due diligence updates, and then we're going to cover technical analysis. If you'd like to watch my previous video, you'll find it in the description below, and if this is the first time you're watching the ONTX series, I very highly recommend you watch the previous one as well. So let's jump right into this one. ONTX. There's not a lot to cover on new kind of perspective, but I do want to cover a couple of things in terms on their financials. So in terms of the quarters, you get to see on their balance sheet, their total cash previously as of September is around 24 million. Their total liabilities is around 13 million. With the recent offering of around $28.75 million, what you get to see there is that they have enough cash to easily always be debt-free and continue running their operations. Now, in terms of their operations, their income statement, you get to see how much they're actually spending. They're spending around $6 million per quarter. So that keeps them afloat for at least about the end of the year as a pharmaceutical. They actually do burn a lot of cash, to keep that in mind. There has been a previous conference from 16th to 18th. You can find the replay around here at the bottom. I did cover a bit of this before. In terms of the corporate presentation, I did cover the corporate presentation that is found around here. And the massive thing about this one is their pipeline. In terms of their pipeline, what we get to see is that they do have around 3 main products. The ON123300, which is solid tumors, oral rigosertib, which is KRAS plus NSCLC, and you got your COVID-19 oral IV or oral rigosertib. So basically, I covered those ones in my previous video, so I'm not going to cover it again. But pharmaceuticals with actual pipelines that are nearing some milestones. So some of the milestones here including on ON12330 US phase 1 study, first patient, first visit for the first half of 2021. Recommended phase 2 doses in the first half of 2022. China phase 1 study, additional dosing cohorts 2021. Recommended phase 2 doses in the second half of 2021. And the rigosertib, which is recommended phase 2 dose for oral in KRAS mutated non-small cell lung cancer in the first half of 2021, and in license of new compound that is expected to happen in 2021. Kind of covered a lot of that. Cash and cash equivalent as basically right off now, you're probably looking at 24.2 for September 30th, and first quarter 2021 common only financing is around 37.5 million. They have enough cash, a lot of cash available. The next thing I want to kind of cover here, moving on, is their votes. So their votes here, including consolidation of shares, a reverse split. This is happening on the meeting happening on March 4th. So we're going to get to know at least a bit more details on that on March 4th. Institutional buyers. What we get to see here in terms of institutional buyers, on JP Morgan is the last one, and they decreased 100% of the shares. On February here, you get to see some bullish, some bearish. The last 4 transactions have been bearish, but you get to see, for instance, here Morgan Stanley added, I would say roughly around 50,000 shares. That's massive. So don't just take JP Morgan. Look at Morgan Stanley. Look at other institutional buyers. Generally, it's mixed. Sometimes leaning a little bit towards bearish on the time frame, but there is a lot of institutional activity, and that's a good thing. Insiders, on the other hand, here you get to see that they're actually buying quite a good amount of them, of the shares, ever since November all the way to February on the 16th. They bought around, I think the last transaction was around 12,000 shares. So that all comes in around really bullish perspective. Now, the next thing I want to cover here is technical analysis. If you haven't done so, please make sure to subscribe and leave notifications on. It helps my channel a lot. Now, coming in towards the technical analysis point of view, here on the 1 week perspective, we get to see 10 SMA is above 30 EMA, and the price point is still above 50 SMA. On the ADX, it still indicates that this is still a trend. It's an odd moving trend. MACD still hasn't even gone towards lower than the previous histogram, indicating that there's still a movement. Momentum still is retracting a little. Willing %R is a bit on the overbought section. Your trading action zone, where bullish reversals are likely, is between the 10 SMA and the 30 EMA, which is between the 89 cents and the 69 cents. Now, moving on towards the 1 day perspective, what we get to see here is this is the trading action zone playing beautifully here. This is where positive reversals are likely. And you get to see it actually did play through today. Between 138 and the 104, that is where positive reversals occur, and it really played nicely today. Below the 104, that's where your trouble starts on the 1-day perspective. 50 SMA is above the 10 SMA. ADX says, hey, be careful, it might have a little bit off pullbacks here and there. William percent R is a bit oversold, or actually neutral towards oversold. MACD is retracting a little, and so is momentum. So that's areas of concern, but I definitely think that we might actually still see an attempt of a negative reversal that might just end up with accumulation or even a breakout again. Now, on a 2-hour perspective, things are looking a lot better. You get to see that even though the moving averages are a little bit bearish, the MACD is attempting to break through a reversal and really trying to see newer highs. And what I'm trying to say here is that, yes, it did attempt to go towards reversals, negative reversals on the pre-market, but it really bounced back and gained momentum. So far, it's sitting somewhere in the middle where it's still considerably on a strong move. Now, on the moving averages, you get to see that the stock price is expected to trade between 119 in the top, 108 in the middle, and 97 in the bottom. Take these as supports, as you get to see every time they touch in there. They really bounce back up, so that's a good thing. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow. They're both telling you to be careful. You might actually start seeing even further pullbacks, and that's a dangerous thing here. Next, what we get to see is on the Fibonacci retracements. Significant support at the 144, 129, 114, 95 cents and 65 cents. Significant resistances lie at the $1.66 and the $1.93. Now we need to go ahead and price a little bit of price line actions here and place them on. You get to see significant resistance at the $1.51. That's an important one to consider. Afterwards, 165. Next, 171, 175, and 181. Below there, you're looking down at 147, 141, 132, 125, 118, 113, 108, going down to 91 cents and 86 cents. Now coming on towards trends, it broke all kind of trends today just because the market was a little bit shaky, but it comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? And my answer for this one is a little bit more complicated than usual for a couple of reasons. So for a shorter term, I would say in a matter of, let's say, a couple of months, I definitely think this one will still see some jumps here and there. That is because they do have quite a good extensive pipeline where there is some kind of timelines or milestones that we're looking to achieve. Now, in terms of long-term investment, with a lot of these pharmas, you're really just trying to toss basically you're tossing in and getting your chances with this one or with General Pharma because their results are really dependent on their pipeline. And if they go ahead and they fail these two pipelines, which I really doubt they will, your shares are almost going to be worthless in that sense. Of course, there's always times when all these stories where companies actually end up either getting bought out or they get out of that pipeline failure into something else. And that's something to consider when you're investing. When you're trading, this one will definitely continue to be volatile, at least for the short term. I gave you specific supports and resistances. I would say make sure to stay above $1.10 or around $1. Above $1, that should be fine. In terms of compliance for that reverse split, they have been above $1 for a little bit, I guess, in a while. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And so I expect that kind of compliance to be there. And they don't need to do reverse split based on compliance reasons, but rather maybe, and that is potential, and I really doubt it, to consolidate the number of shares they have. Now, what do you think about this sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Please make sure to actually subscribe. And if you'd like to join our chat room in the Discord below, you'll find it in the description below. Have a wonderful day.